evening and welcome to 27 Minutes here on WJTS 27. Dubois County Commission President John Berger announced he will run for the Indiana House District 63 seat that will be vacated by Dave Crooks. Berger held a press conference to announce his intentions. Jasper Mayor Bill Schmidt helped introduce Berger.
One thing that I'm very proud of, the fact that John, who is a successful businessman, successful in agriculture, successful in raising his family. He's got great children and wife, and he's a very busy man. Now, somebody might say, why is John Berger going to be running for state representative when he's so busy now? But I can tell you from my experience that it's busy people who make decisions and get the job done, and that's why they're busy. Those type of people don't sit back and wait for something else to happen. They're at the forefront leading. And that's what I found with John being a county commissioner. We've talked about a lot of issues that are good for the community, not just in jobs, but also our aging population. John has been very supportive in public transportation. John has been very supportive in taking the lead in the county in quality of life issues, because one reason, John cares about the people. And I know he'll care just as greatly about the people here in Dubois County as he does for the rest of District 63. So that is the message I think that we need to get out to other communities, is that John Berger is a man who is busy, a man that gets things done, and a man that cares about the people, and he's going to make a great representative for District 63, Jasper, and the parts of Dubois County that he represents. So that's why it's my pleasure and honor to endorse John Berger today for state representative. Congratulations, John.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you have such kind things said about you, and you know, it's kind of tough to start talking here right now. But first of all, I want to thank you all for being here. It means a lot to me and my family, you know, to have such strong support here today. I see a lot of friends, well, all of you actually are friends, a lot of colleagues I work with here in the county, and you know, this will be a bittersweet decision for me. So, you know, if I'm successful, which we're going to be successful because the Democrats are going to retain majority in the House, but, you know, that means that I'm going to be leaving you on a day-to-day basis, but I'm still going to be here fighting for you and the rest of District 63. I want to mention, before I forget, I want to thank Kathy and my children here, Jordan, Olivia, Emily, and Caleb. I mean, you know, without them being supportive, this would be totally impossible. And Kathy's been with me every step of the way throughout my political career, and without a strong, supportive wife taking care of the kids, it would just be impossible. So my hat's off to Kathy. I want to thank you publicly. I know I don't say it enough, but thank you very much. I want to thank my mom. I tell you what, she was there in every campaign. I think she's kind of nervous here now too, because she thinks that you know, she was my star door-to-door campaigner, so she thinks she's going to be a busy person. Well, we'll give you the good neighborhoods where there's no hills to climb, Mom. So I want to thank you for being here and all your support. My sister Kathy, who's been a great county clerk here in Dubois County, thank you for being here. I tell you what, there's a very, very close person, an uncle and a friend of mine who isn't here with us today. He passed away about 2 months ago. Virgil Schnaus, who was my mentor, and he's going to be my honorary chairman of my campaign, because I know if he was alive, he'd be right there beside me every step of the way. His wife, Becky, is here, daughter Marcia, and a couple of his grandkids, and I think you know what Virgil meant to me, and that way he's with me on this campaign. And I thank you, Becky, for letting me have him as my honorary chairman. That means a lot. Thank you. I want to thank Mayor Smith for those kind words, and for this support staff back here. That's just a tremendous boost for me. So thank you very much for being here. This election, it's unique because I have 15 years of experience in local government to offer. I plan on taking that experience to the floor of the House because, you know, there's a lot of times, and Mayor Schmidt will attest to this, and my commissioner colleagues or anybody involved in local government, there's a lot of mandates put on the local level, a lot of unfunded mandates. And I think that it's time that a local elected official take that to the floor of the House of Representatives in Indianapolis and let them know what kind of effects that has on us on the local level. Economic development, as the mayor mentioned, that's been one of my, pet projects. I've enjoyed working with Bob Gruey's back here. We started an economic development commission about 2 years ago. The mayor got the ball rolling. Larry Vollmer, you were involved in that at the beginning and still care about it, as we all do. We all know that we need to retain good-paying jobs for our citizens. We also need to recruit jobs for our citizens. We want to bring up the quality of life and bring it up to a new plateau, and in order to do that, we have to be able to raise their pay. And that is one of my priorities, to make sure that all of District 63 has good-paying jobs available to them so they can raise a family. They can keep that family here in District 63 in southern Indiana, because, that's what this is all about, keeping our people local, keeping them here, and continuing to have good communities. So, anybody who follows state government knows that the state Senate is overwhelmingly Republican by a 2-to-1 margin. Right now we have a governor who, if you can call him that, so he's a Republican. I don't know what you all think, but I think we need a balance of power in Indianapolis. By making sure that the House stays Democrat, we can ensure that. And that's another reason why I'm running for this, is because I want to do all I can to make sure that not only the people of the 63rd District, but all of Indiana is well represented on every issue, and these issues are debated. They're not just railroaded and ramrodded down in the people of Indiana's throats. So that's something I intend to do. That doesn't mean that I'm always going to vote against a Republican proposal. I mean, I've worked well on the local level and reach across party aisles to come to the best consensus and plan that we have, for the people of Dubois County. That's something that has to be done in Indianapolis. I mean, you've got to be able to have bipartisanship. We've had it here locally. It works locally. That same kind of bipartisanship that works on a local level can work in Indianapolis, and I intend to work as hard as I have locally, getting along with the opposition party. I'll do that in Indianapolis too, because I think that's the only way that you can come to a good decision on any issue, is if you have debate and you have compromise. It can't be all one-sided one way or the other. And I'm going to work hard to make sure that I'm going to help to make sure that there's a bipartisan effort in Indianapolis. One thing I think with Dave Crooks that I've learned a lot by observing him the last 3-4 years, that we've become very close, is that Dave, as well as Danny and Russ, and anyone who's in public service, he has a genuine care about people, and I've observed that in him. And And I feel that way too. I mean, anyone who's in public service cares about what's going on. It'd be a lot easier for me with all what I've got going on to not even attempt to do this. But I feel like the calling is there. I feel like I need to do this. I need to do this for the people of the 63rd District. I need to do it for my children and your children. I need to do all I can to make sure that when my days are done as an elected official, that the future is better than it was when I became involved. And I intend to do that. You know, there are many other issues that I'll be addressing in the weeks and months ahead. Property tax relief is at the forefront, and I think we need real property tax relief, and I'm committed to studying and doing all I can in working with these other fine gentlemen here to bring real, true property tax relief to the people of Indiana. I want to make sure that a quality education is available to all of our children, and to make sure that no child is left behind. There has to be affordable health care. You know, I think small businesses or just individuals know about the exorbitant cost of health care, and you know, we need to look into that and see what we can do. I think the elderly, we need to reach out and take care of the elderly. If it's providing a transportation system or a 211 system or anything that we can do, as long as it's, you know, we have to live within our means, obviously, but we need to do all we can for the elderly. They're the ones that have worked their whole lives, paved the way. You know, they're the ones that have paid for the athletic fields, for everything that's offered to our children, and I think that they should be taken care of in the end. And I intend to do all I can to help to see that that is done. Again, well, before I close, I want to just mention something that little Caleb here said that has stuck with me and is going to stick with me throughout this whole election. The other evening he said, "Dad, don't you want to be a county commissioner anymore?" And I said, well, I love being a county commissioner. I love who I work with. But the times come and the opportunities available for me to take my political career to a new level. And that means leaving behind a lot of good friends, but it also means that we'll be working on a different level. And he said, but Larry and Randy, they're such nice guys, you'll never see them anymore. You'll never be able to talk to them. And I said, well, you know, we'll actually be able to go out and have dinner one-on-one together and do whatever. Now we can't do that. So there's some fringe benefits too, but, you know, through the eyes of a 5-year-old, that he put that much thought process into that really, really made me feel that my wife must be doing something right with our kids, you know. So anyway, you know, we were down in Pike County at their JJ dinner the other night, and we were well received, and I appreciate that. I want to mention Bill Walton, the Davies County chairman, is here. Bill, I'm sorry. I appreciate you being here very much. Carolyn Whitecamp, who is a Pike County chairman, Democrat chairman, called this morning. She has a bout of phlebitis. She would have been here this morning, but she has to keep her leg elevated, so she couldn't be here. And the Martin County chairman could not be here. We have Barbara Motteis is here. I'm glad you're here, Barbara. Thank you very much. And I have to mention one other individual here. Starting my political career was as a county councilman. And I'll tell you what, to learn fiscal responsibility, there's not a better teacher than Rich Eckerly is, and I appreciate that. So with all that being said, again, I want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here. Certainly means a lot to Kathy, the children, and myself. This is going to be a tough battle. It's going to be a hard-fought battle. And I'm glad to know that you are going to be with me every step of the way, and anything you can do to help us, we appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments or advice, we entertain that. And again, we need to make sure that we retain this seat to make sure that there's a balance of power in Indianapolis. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again for coming out. We appreciate your involvement today, and we're going to appreciate your involvement as this campaign progresses, because John Berger is a man of honor, a man of integrity. He is the type of guy that we need in Indianapolis. We're going to do all that we can to make that happen, and I know that you will too. Thank you. Let's go out there and get it done.
Stay tuned. We'll have more 27 minutes after this. It's now time for Dinner Made Easy here on WJTS 27.
We're redefining quick and easy today with classic soups, starting with chicken and dumplings using only 3 pantry ingredients. Then our grilled cheese tomato soup is great served for dinner or travels with you for lunch, and they're both on your table in less than 15 minutes. For our chicken and dumpling soup, all you need is 3 cans of your favorite ready-to-eat chicken noodle soup, a can of chicken broth, and a container of refrigerated buttermilk biscuits. Now, this is so easy. We have our soup in the pot. Just add our broth and bring to a boil. Separate and cut up the biscuits and drop them into the soup. Now simmer uncovered for 10 minutes and covered for 10 more. And then just ladle the soup into bowls with an equal number of dumplings. It's that easy. Next, our crowd-pleasing grilled cheese soup is just as easy to prepare. Simply take 1 can of tomato basil soup and place in a bowl. Heat the soup, then add 2 packages of individual serving-sized cheese cubes and 1/4 cup of ready-made croutons from your pantry. This is a hearty tomato soup that tastes like it comes with a grilled cheese sandwich. And look, our chicken and dumplings couldn't be easier or tastier, and our delicious grilled cheese tomato soup is dinner in a flash. For these recipes and many more, go to the website.
Meanwhile, the city of Huntingburg has completed the first stage of the Engage program to enhance the quality of life in Huntingburg for senior citizens. Tuesday, Engage Project Chair Kathy Holler went over what Huntingburg is doing to make the city an elder-friendly community.
That on this brochure is the 4 basic domains that they talked about that we've attempted to address in our local community, and some things that we've had a hand on accomplishing. And those under basic needs, we looked at we will be getting the 211, and that's going to be in place for the county when?
Early 2008.
Early in 2008. Is everyone here familiar with 211? Read about it in the paper and everything. It'll be a wonderful source of information gathering for our community, and not just for the elderly, but the entire community. For purchasing portable generators, we had a gal on our committee that works with the elderly housing, and noted that she has a number of people in the community where she is that need generators for life support. You know, they have oxygen or whatever, and it's a real panic and feeling for them. Electricity goes out indefinitely, what they're to do. So we've applied for a grant to keep X amount of generators available, and the city has a list of who those people are that have that need. Should any area in the town electricity go out for a certain length of time, we can get generators to those people. Any other comments about that particular one, Mayor?
No, I could go on about it, but it hasn't happened yet. And I do view that as something that really needs to be done, because the folks who need those think something's going to happen that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. They're under a real false impression.
Mm-hmm. Right. We looked at the provisions that we have locally for Meals on Wheels. That's being totally met. I don't think we have a waiting list, Dan. And that's a good thing. We do have food banks in place all over the county. We are trying to be paying close attention to the fact that not everyone possibly that needs to go to the food bank has a way to get there or to haul their groceries home. And so that's something that we need to start looking at and considering. That yes, we have a food bank, it has limited hours, and what is someone that no longer can drive and has no family here, how are they going to get there to get those services? So we need to be aware of those kind of things. Looking at just helping the local builders be aware of small things that can be done to make things elder friendly for people at the age and place in their homes. I had some relatives of mine that built a home for their retirement, and within 5 years they they're no longer able to use the tub that they built in their home. And it's a lovely home, but the tub is not usable for them anymore. They cannot get in and out of it without assistance. And then looking at community organization. You know, we have a daycare here that can always use volunteers, rock a baby or whatever, but there's a series of things that having volunteers entail that maybe the elderly can't always afford to do, to pay for their health screening and everything, those kind of things that would be a requirement before they could volunteer at a place like that or in the local school. And then looking at optimizing physical and mental health and well-being. We currently have 3 days a week the enhanced fitness class for seniors. It's being held at Salem Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And it's $1.50, I think, for an hour. Yes, they do. And Ann, would you explain that a little bit? It's a specifically designed physical program for seniors.
Of all skill levels. So if you have already been in fitness programs, you can ratchet up a little bit. Or if you're just a beginner or a couch potato, it'll help you get into physical fitness. They formally call it an evidence-based health promotion. And evidence-based means it's been done someplace else. They've had researchers look at it, and they get the results they want. Said another way, if you want to be physically fit, a little bit more healthy, come to the Evidence-Based Health Promotion Project 3 days a week, and I forgot the time.
It's in the morning. I think it's 9.
9, men or women, and I think the age is 50, come if you're 50 on up, so good program.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to continue as long as
the community wants it.
As long as the community wants it, okay. Future plans, we're looking at fitness stations that are going to be on the proposed walking trail around the event center, and that's kind of a neat thing, so you don't just have this boring walk, that there's stations where you can do exercise as you stop along the way at different places. The seniors had asked at one point in our survey, they wanted to be able to walk during the summer months. They enjoy walking at the Memorial Gym. They didn't realize that it would be hotter than blazes in there trying to walk during that time. But I know from experience when I took my mother there, when I moved her to Huntingburg to live here, she just loved going there. First of all, it was an opportunity to talk to other seniors. Secondly, when she got too tired, the entire, you walk around the bleachers on the upper level, and so when she got too tired, at any point in time, she could sit down. She couldn't do that in the local park. So she could take as many steps as she thought she could. And I have seen people over there walking with 2 canes. You got to give people credit to still keeping on to do that. And of course, there's restrooms available there too. And so those are things that are important as people try to stay physically fit. We have another whole list of things. We do have the Aquasize program in the summer months, and we've been trying to find a way to open that up. The school's very accommodating and wanting to help us open up a time during winter months so seniors can continue to do some Aquasize in the pool there. But finding someone who is already has accreditation to teach the class during the middle of the day, as well as find a time when the pool is accessible is kind of a challenge. We haven't been 100% successful at that, but we're still working on it. Looking at speakers bureaus and education classes that we could host through the hospital. Seniors, that's always been a big, I think you've probably found that's always a popular thing to do health fairs and things like that. And dental seminars. It's been interesting, and my husband with his practice, he's been very surprised at the elder seniors who are willing to, in this day and age, they're willing to get dental implants. They seem to have the money and want to spend the money on good dental ongoing care. And then looking at independence and civic and social and civic engagement. This is in regards to the survey, and we've listed some future plans also. Just looking at intergenerational programs. We saw that at our church a couple of years in a row where we did it was an intergenerational Sunday school program that we offered in the summer, and it was outdoors. It was called Marketplace, and it was for infants through age 90 up. And we really had people get a new appreciation for the elderly, got a new appreciation for the youth in our church, and the other way around. And it opened up some new levels of communication. They enjoyed one another. And we need to try to look at opportunities to do that, where we segregate our age levels too much, and our youth have so much to learn from the older population if we give them the opportunity. And they learn more respect, I think, when they learn to put a face on what an elderly, what that means. We were kind of amused because some of our 70-year-olds, I don't want to step on any toes here, some of our late 60, 70-year-olds said, well, we can't do this outdoors. The older people won't be able to handle it with the heat when we did our marketplace outdoors with tents and everything. Well, the first people that showed up the first Sunday were our oldest 80 and 90-year-old gals in the church, because if they're anything like a lot of elderly, they probably don't use their air conditioning. My mother never did. They know how to tolerate the heat. It was the younger elderly that didn't seem to know how to. We've got upgrades with sidewalks and so forth, and then the safe route, which was, I don't know, is that in place? It's going to be in place for the sidewalks for safety?
No, that is not in place. We've applied for a 100% grant to accomplish that.
Okay.
So that is in process, and
okay.
it takes as long as it did to get the time changed. Even she will be the baby.
We will have more on the Engage meeting next week here on 27 Minutes. This will wrap up this edition of 27 Minutes here on WJTS 27. For the entire crew, I'm Kurt Gutgsell. Have a great night.